April marks World Autism Month. It's a time to celebrate those who live with autism and see the world through different eyes. It's our chance to increase inclusion and acceptance of those with autism. According to Autism Speaks Canada, 1 in 66 children and youth in Canada and 70 million adults worldwide have autism. At Tamir, we are committed to increasing awareness and inclusion of people living with a developmental disability and/or autism. For World Autism Month, we are featuring an interview with Lynn Kent, the mother of Eric Kent, a person living with autism and supported by Tamir. Eric was asked to contribute to the conversation but chose to decline. He is aware that his mother is speaking on his behalf. What are like the 5 words that you would choose to encompass him?
Okay, I did think about this one. Let's say, I'd say number one would be charming. Charming, and that doesn't need any explanation, right, Eric? Yeah. Independent, that's another word. Where else do we go from that? Funny. Surprisingly enough, funny is a good descriptive word of Eric. He is. He's quite a joker, and he enjoys a joke, and he puts his whole belly laugh into a good joke, expressing his humor. Another word I would use for Eric is a word that gets thrown around in my yoga classes a lot, and among other sources right now, and that's mindfulness. We are all trying very hard to live in the moment, and Eric really does. He has his whole life, he lives in the moment. This current moment involves his lunch there, but when Eric is happy, he is 100% happy. Unfortunately, when he's sad or frustrated, that's 100% too, but it lasts as long as it lasts, and he moves on. And I've lost count of how many words
I think we're at 4, but that's okay if you don't want to do another.
Yeah, that would be. If I come up with another one, I'll come up with another one. So yeah.
You had mentioned before focused. I don't know if that's one that you'd want to.
Yes, actually, that is an excellent word. Yes, Eric focuses again on the immediate moment and the immediate needs. But that's a really good thing too. I think many of us wish we were much better at that. Eric puts us to shame.
All right, so I just want to ask you one more question. And that is, what would you want to see, or what do you see? You could ask it both in present and in future, for inclusion in the community. Definitely. Eric included. What ways would you like to see him included better? Okay. How has he benefited?
Okay. In terms of inclusion, among other things, Eric's time at Tamir has really helped in that way. It's clearly a focus of the organization, and he has some wonderful, dedicated staff who work very hard to include it. Eric is out in the community on a regular basis. It's tailored a little bit to what he wants. I mean, he doesn't enjoy every possible activity, but he's given a lot of variety and choices in what he does do. Sometimes you kind of know Eric is going to like something, so you want to make sure there's a lot of supports in place for that. Other times you're pretty sure he's not going to enjoy it, but maybe it's kind of worth trying a couple of times, because I don't think Eric has ever ceased to surprise me in what he likes, what he can do, what is motivating and reinforcing for him. I would have sworn up and down on 2 ways around the block, but Eric would never willingly participate in a Zoom meeting, and look, he's here. Yeah, and it's been great. So I thought, okay, we're not going to see Eric until this situation is resolved. He can't go there. He can't come here. What are we going to do? And we're doing it by Zoom.
Awesome.
At my heart, he's sitting still and focused and paying attention to every word we're saying. So yeah, things are good.
Are there any challenges you'd want to articulate for us?
Sure. I think I said that Eric was very independent and strong-willed and likes to get his own way. And when part of his autism makes it difficult sometimes to, and not so much to articulate what he wants. What he wants is usually pretty clear, but to actually get it. I remember an incident when he was very small where what he wanted was to rip up a piece of paper, and that piece of paper was my visa bill. And I really wasn't very happy about it and went to a great deal of trouble to thwart that, which led to a major blow up. So this is the sort of thing. We've been in office environments, and I've heard some stories from day program too, where this obsession with paper, for instance, led to Eric getting at things he really, really couldn't have. And that leads to frustration. So I think that frustration is one of the major challenges. And the other is that he cannot do everything he wants when he wants to do it. And as I keep saying, he's very independent. Yeah, that's a challenge. That's one of the biggest.
Yeah.
The lack of control over his life. Yeah. No.
What would you say is what would you say is unique or maybe different? I don't know what adjective you necessarily want to put on it about parenting someone who lives with autism.
Parents want their children to have a full, productive life and be happy. That's what I want for all of my children. Their needs are different, their skills are different, and they find their path in different ways. But I want them to find their path and live the best life that they are able to live. So the challenges from autism, in fact, challenges from anybody who is perceived as different from mainstream society, make it difficult for them to do that as easily as others might. And that's a challenge. And the other one I find very big is, they don't tell you this in the parenting handbook, but if you have more than one child, you have different needs in your household, and you have to sometimes make choices. So you can't always do what you would like to do for every child the same at the same time. That's a huge challenge. That really is.
You've mentioned several times that Eric is very independent and that he's very good at communicating his needs.
Yes.
From what I understand, he often doesn't use words to communicate those needs. So could you tell us, how does Eric communicate? How does he let everyone know what he wants? And Eric, if you want to chime in, tell us anything, please.
Absolutely. He is demonstrating it right now, actually. His need at this moment is to eat what he's eating, and that's what he's going to do. And the fact that you want to ask him questions is totally irrelevant to Eric. So he uses the brute force approach quite a bit. He simply continues to do what he is doing when he chooses to do. So we know we're all sitting here watching Eric eat his late lunch or late breakfast, early lunch, and what we want to do is totally irrelevant. So there's a lot of that. I hope you get to see some of his lovely facial expressions. He has the most beautiful smile, and that's a way he communicates. He uses his body language and gestures quite a bit. He does have some vocalizations. They're not specific words. And Eric blew us away when he was about 2 years old. He had not spoken up to that point. And he lay on the kitchen floor and he sang a nursery rhyme, word for word, perfect. And I just couldn't believe my ears. I had never heard Eric speak before. Oh, he's smiling. He knows I'm talking about him. And he sang beautifully. He has a wonderful singing voice.
Awesome. Well, that does it for me as far as questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much for participating.